Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi. Yeah, I believe we are all doing fine, and today is a good day to start something. Yeah. So over the week, we started with, I think last week we did arithmetic, yeah, operations, and then we also did conditionals on Tuesday. So today we'll be looking at something new. So let me share my screen. So we'll be talking about arrays. So we've known array to be a kind of a data structure that we use for a couple of things. So what's an array basically? So yeah, so an array you can view it like a queue. Let's say, for instance, you go to the supermarket to get organized supermarket, so not our local kind of supermarkets. So you finish purchasing the items that you need, and now you want to pay a bill, and then you're like asked to join a queue. So an array is similar to that. So in web development, an array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. So it's like a queue. Let's say we have you want to pay in the supermarket now, and then you have different types of people on that queue. You have boys. See, okay. So okay, can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
All right. So yeah, on the queue now, you have different kinds of people. You have slim people, you have fat people, it doesn't care which kind of person is on that queue, smokers, drug addicts, whatever. So an array is similar to that. So let's say, for instance, let me just create .js here. All right. So for us to create an array, you can just say let's say we need an array of cars. So what this will look like is list of different cars. Let's say Volvo. That used to be my father's car. Sure. I have Saab. Maybe that's why it's always in my head, Volvo. And then you have BMW. Okay. Okay. So this I want to link this up here. Tags. I'm sure we already know that. So when I think this is already loaded.
Sorry, Mr. Ogochukwu, we can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can.
We can hear you now.
Sorry, that's fish. Okay, so I was saying, okay, I had created this. Okay, so checking my console now, I see my array. This is how you actually create an array in JavaScript. So the way you create a variable. So I'm saying cars, and inside the cars, I'm putting strings with different names of cars. I can also add numbers here too. I just do this 12. So when I save that, you see that down here it increases. So an array can contain anything, even if it's an object now. So let's say so I say name fruits, and then I say type. I say banana. So you see that we have, yeah. So we have strings inside here. We have a number. We also have an object. So an array can contain different kinds of things. You can hear me, right?
Yes, boss, we can hear you.
All right. So that is an array. So that's how to create an array. Now, if you notice, we have different items inside here. Say for instance, now we say let us get a particular item from here now. So I don't know if I don't know if I've said this before. An array basically is numbered. Each item inside here is numbered. So it's not the regular numbering. It starts from 0. So this Volvo now is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And then this whole object is 4. So say for instance we want to get the 4th item. So let me still leave this this console.log cars and still do another one. So cars, sorry. So inside cars now I want to access the 3rd item. So you see, this is the 3rd item. So let me just do this console log, do a string, So I say third, a bit fourth item, so yeah. So the fourth item is 12. Fourth item. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can see now, instead of having 4 here, it is having 3. So 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So the third so what when you want to access a particular element in an array, you have to use this square bracket and then pass in the index. So the index is, like I said, 0, 1, 2, and then you keep going. So it starts from 0. So it's very important that we take note of that. Then it's also possible for us to change arrays. So say for instance now, so here now we have the fourth item is this. What if we want to change this to something else? So we can say cars, then the third item, or the fourth item rather, is equal to okay. Let me just put someone's name. If I do that, I do this now. So you see what happened now? So we started out with, this is the cars array now. And then when we consoled it the first time, this is what it gave us. Now I got the fourth item here, and it's showing us 12. But now I am now replacing this third item. I'm saying that, oh, I don't know, I'm calling it third item, fourth item, but with the third index. So the fourth item now, I replaced it. I assigned to the fourth item. So remember, we did assignment operators. So this equals to now is used to assign, you are assigning Shegun to the fourth item with the third index for cars. So notice what happened. So we have cars, and then inside it, the index, inside the square bracket, the index of that particular element that we want to change, and then we are assigning Shegun to it. Now, when we are console logging, now we are not seeing what was in the initial array. 12 is no longer there. It has been replaced with Shegun. So that is you can actually change. You can change items inside an array. Then something that we need to have at the back of our mind is that arrays are basically is a special kind of object. So let's say, for instance, we want to do we want to get the type of cars. So instead of us getting an array here as what we are saying, what type of what data type is cars, and then maybe you would have been expecting, oh, we should have arrays here, but instead it's telling us that this is an object. So this is an array is a special type of object. So just like every other thing now. An array has methods or properties. So if we check now, look at what we have. We have a number in front of this. So this number is saying, okay, this is the number of items inside here. Say for instance now, let's get the length. So an array has a property called length. So we want to get the length. I have plenty console.logs. I hope we don't get confused. Console.log. I'll just try and specify this. Length. I don't know how to spell again. Length of an array. Yeah, now I don't know how to type again. Oh. Okay. So length of an array. So we want to get the length of this array. So how do we do that? We get the name of that array, and then we do dot length. So like you see now, we have length of sorry, let me change my verbiage here. Change length of the cars array. So the length of the cars array is, so length of the cars array is 5. And yeah, the length of the cars array is 5. So that means we have inside our cars, we have 5 items inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 items inside here. Now, so you can actually use const with it. I don't know, I have a preference for let. So that's, you can get the length of an array. And like we saw, you can also get, if we want to get, okay, just in the chat, somebody should just, if we want to get the length of, if we want to get the first item in this array, now what is it going to be? I just want to see answers in the chat, so you can just put it down there. So I want to get the first item for this cars array. What is it going to be? How am I going to write it? Can we still hear me?
Yes, but it breaks at some point. But it's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry about that. Yeah. Yes. You don't use length. You don't use dot length. So you call cars. You call cars, and then you have to now do. So I'm going to do it here. I'm going to replace this. So to get the first item, so I'm doing this, and I'm saying the first item. So first item now is Volvo. So notice I did not put dot length here. I did cars, and then I passed in the index. So the index is 0. So the cars, the first item is Volvo. So that's it. You don't need to do dot length or something of that sort. All right, so what if I want to get the last item? Very tricky. What if I want to get the last item? What is that one going to look like? Okay, okay, yeah. What if I want to get the last item? Somebody should just put it in the chat. I hope we're not going to Google. Okay, so if I want to get the last item, let me copy this. Okay. So my last item is actually I'm doing I hope this works. So I'm calling cars, and I'm doing inside it, I'm doing cars dot length. Spell it. I'm doing -1. Okay. Okay. So it's crazy. And somebody did cars -1. Okay, okay. So this is how you actually get the last item. So let me just put a comment here. So for you to get the last item, you have to do, so we have cars, and the length, we said this thing is, we said cars, arrays basically are zero, they are zero index. So that means they start from 0. So for you to get the last item here, you now have to do the sum of the total number of items inside here. So which is what? Cars.length. So cars.length, which is a property. So we have 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This object, this whole object is one item. So we have five items inside here. Now we want to, here it translates to, so for 1 becomes 0, 2 becomes 1. So that means cars.length has to subtract 1 from it to get that particular index. So that's why we're having so cars.length, which is 5, -1, which is 4. So if we're doing 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that now gives us this item now, this object as an item. I hope we understand that. Okay. So yes, there's something I want to do, and I don't want us to miss out on it. So I have something I want to show us. Okay. Sorry, I'm coming. Give me a moment to pull that up. Okay. Okay. Okay, my work is actually not responsive. Okay, so I'll open it on full screen. Okay, so can we see this? Yeah, can we see this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So say for instance now, I'm going to get an array from somewhere and I'll put it up for us. Okay. So we have this array now. So we have an array of students on KodeCamp. Yes. So we have Priska, we have Chris, we have Womedimo, we have Saitama, we have Christine. Yeah. So we have this array now. Same way, we can, it's the same. Let me just console.log. So students on KodeCamp. So we have 5 students. Let me return this to how it was before. So we have 5 students. So we have, starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we want to look through these students. We want to display them. So let's do that quickly. You can actually look through items inside an array. So to do that, give me a moment. So I could either do, I could do this. I could say, so I don't know if we've seen this before. So so we can use a for loop to look through items that are inside it, inside an array. So let's, our start index equals to 0. And then, so we are saying our index is less than students dot length. Okay. And then we now increase it. We now say, all right. So we are starting from the first item, since it's 0 index, and then we are going. So we are saying that our index is less than the total number of students or items inside that. So I can simply do console.log okay, console.log students. Then I now pass the index. Okay. So I'm saying starting from the first item here, which is 0. So I'm starting from 0, and I'm saying that as you're looping through all of this, the index, this I stands for index, is lesser than the length of students, and then you want to increment that. So that means after the first loop goes through, after you go through this, so it's basically going through this. It comes inside this loop. It picks the first item, which is Priska. It's console.logs that one, comes out of the loop again, goes again, picks the second item. So since this one has already been printed out, it picks the next one, prints that one out, comes out of the loop again, goes again, picks this one, prints it again. So you can easily loop through array elements you can use this. You can also use a for each. So my array here is students. But for each, and then we want to do the same thing. Console.log to element. I think I need to remove this other one for now. So I'm commenting this one so that we see the output. You see, it still gives us the same thing. So we are saying for each element inside here now, console.log that element. So like somebody will say, choose your poison. So you can either choose to use a for loop, or you can use for each, whichever one works for you. So that's fine. That's how that one works. Is anybody confused? Can we hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. The for loop, the first one is confusing.
So, well, that's why I say choose your poison. But if you understand the for loop, you'll still understand what is happening. So we are saying for each index, so it's checking for the index. It comes here, it sees that this zero index has already gone through. So you're saying print out this particular index. You remember we said for you to get a particular index, you have to pass it in inside this square brackets. So that's how this is happening. So that's why I said starting from the first item, since it's zero based, I'm going to the last item, which is less than. So we are subtracting one out of it to get that particular index. So if we want the fourth item translates to 3. So we are saying any index that is coming here now is lesser than the total length of this. So increase it So go through, guys, and look through it. This plus here stands for it means look through it. So for each can actually do the work.
Clearer now.
Okay. Okay, so I had something in mind which I want us to just to do. So I want us to create this. Actually, it's scattered here. So you know how you use your responsiveness and do it and make it to all fits. But when you open it up, this is what I have in mind. Forget the other guy. The responsiveness, you already know what is happening, what you people are facing with responsiveness. All right, so yes, so I'm removing this now. I want us to create this. So I already have this opened here, and it's called array.html. So I want us to do this is there's something called DOM manipulation where you get to alter things on your page. So I want us to just use an array to list. We want to list the number of students in in CodeCamp or something. So I want to do this quickly. So I'll just give it a title of students in code. So by the way, there are a lot of methods that can work on an array. So I think we should look into most of them. I could have touched them, but I want us to do this before this class ends. Okay, so let's just let me get something from somewhere. I believe we should be able to follow suit. Okay, let's just create it. I'll try and be fast. Let me not copy it so that we'll follow. So I'm doing a container. Inside that container, I have a section. So I'll do section. And then I give it a student section class. That's why I'm using that dot. So student section. And then inside student section, I want to have a card. So I'll just say student card. And then inside student card now, I want another class. I'll call that student image. Inside the image now, I'm using image tag and I'm doing img slash my favorite person. So, the favorite person did not want to come out. Give me a moment. So we have image. Okay. Okay. So why am I not getting this? Sorry. img. Then Oh, okay. Sorry. It's very big. I didn't know. Okay, so it's actually here. I was scared that I didn't want to show up. Okay, so I have student image. I have I have student information, and inside here I have H1, which translates to my name. Okay, so okay, so I have track, I have name track, and then this. So I save this. Okay, so I need to actually resize this. I need to create my CSS now. And new file array.css. So inside here now, I'm linking this up. This thing is not affecting us. Let me open it. So inside here now, I'm replacing this with CSS slash array.css. Okay, so the way we do it, we reset margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box. Okay, so what do we have here? I think I want to give my image. Okay, let's see how the page is first before I start wanting my image. So this is very big, and I don't know why it's so big. Okay. Okay, so here now, my container. I want a width of 90%. I want margin 0 or 2. So, sure we understand what that means. So I want my, so let me just resize that image. That student image should have a dash here. It's looking so awkward. IMG. So height of 300 pixels. And something is missing here. It's 100%. All right. Oh, and it's so squeezed though. Wonderful. Okay. So I think I need to give this percentage. I need to get my student cash. So give a width of 80%. Okay, I was scared. Okay. Yeah. So this student card, I want to give it a background color. Okay. So I have this, and yeah, I think I need to give it padding. So padding of 20 pixels. All right. Yes. So I want to do so this student section. I mind I'm just going I'm going backwards and forward. So student section. So for student section now I want a display of flex. I am duplicating this student card. Say for instance we have like 3. So I have 3, 30% each. So they are clustered together. So I already did display flex. So I want to do justify content space between. So this is what I have now. So we need to confirm that so here now we have our app.js linked here. And this is our app.js. So we want to display. So I don't want to really style this very well, but yes. So this is the basic thing that we want. So we want these students here. You see that each of them have different names and then different tracks. So we want to look through this and then display them on the page. So for us to do that, I'm going to use our for each. Some display an array on. Okay. So I'm doing students. And then I'm going to do for each. Now, remember that it takes an element. So for each element, so this is similar to your normal function. Let me see if I can get that function. Okay, so let's just do this for now first. It's similar to function. So, but instead of doing this, we use an arrow. So it's saying for each element, this E now is the same thing like this element here. We want to, so let's steal console.log. Okay, let's see what we have now. And I am getting an error. Okay, my spelling. Let me comment this for now. So this is what we have now. So for me to make this work now, I need to reference a couple of things. So here now, remember that we have this student section. So inside here now, just do this. I will say let student section equals documents. So I'm picking this items document dot get element by ID. So that particular section does not have So this does not have an ID. So let's just give it an ID. So I'll say student. Yeah, so student wrapper. That's my ID. So I'll say student. I'm selecting this. I'm picking that item. And then I also have to define another thing. So I'll say let HTML equals to an empty string. All right. So now, since this is what we get now, so I want to reassign the HTML, and then using backticks, I want to do this. Now, what I can do is I need just one of these cards. Since all of them have the same design and look alike, I need one of these cards. So I will copy this, come over to this place. Remember, I use backticks here. This is not a string. So I use backticks here. That's it's before your number 1 on your keyboard. So it's like a small slash. So I paste this here. So when I do this now, I am now going to change. Give me a moment. So this now, remember that we have this here now. Dot. And then we are now saying that we should change the inner HTML and give it. So remember we declared HTML here. And now we are assigning it plus equals to is an addition, what they call that? It's that addition operation here. So we are now replacing this. Initially it was an empty string, but now we took this one of the student card and replace it here. So this HTML now has this as a value. Now we want to assign this whole HTML to this student section, which we picked. So we are saying is equals to what? HTML. Now, let's see what our page is even looking like. So we have multiple, we now have more of this. So let me check. So initially we had 3, but now this has replaced everything. So it's completely removed what we had here before and now put this in place of that. So that's why you see that we have 5 names here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's displaying 5 people there. Now, what we can do is this. So we want to change each person's name now so that we know that this is actually coming from our array. For us to do that, we need to do a $sign, and then you open curly brackets like this, and then you now do, remember that we're using elements here. So for us to access each element here, we need to pass in E here. And then remember, this is an array of objects. For you to access a property in an object, you need to use a dot. So it's saying for each element now, we want to pick the person's name. So we now have to do element. So this element, and then we now do dot name. So let's see what we have on our page now. So you see, we have Priska John, we have Chris Eminence, we have Uemedimo Wendy, we have Saitama, we have Christine. Yeah. Can we still hear me? Sorry.
We can hear you.
Okay. I believe we are not so confused here about what is happening here. Okay. So the same way that we did this for the name, we can also do this for, so what do we have here? So we have a track and then the branch. So front end is track. So for here now, we can do the same thing. So I'm pasting this, and then instead of, I change this to track, since this is track here. So I'm going through what we have here. So it's an array of objects with different names, and then they are, what do they call it? They are other properties. So they are track. This person is on front end. This person is on. Yeah, Timilein. Yeah, you have a question.
Sorry, the mistake. Sorry.
All right, it's all right. So each of them has their track and branch. So I'm working based on that. So I replace here with the element, and I'm picking the particular track. Since when you do a for each, it picks the element, and then you now have to. This is just like, okay, for if I'm going through this person, pick this name, display the name. Now pick this track, display the track for this place. So we want to do the same for this. We want to do branch. Okay. Uh, So you see now we have web development. So I need to make this to wrap so that we don't get, we understand what is happening here. So flex and then flex wrap. Okay. So this is what we have now. Let me give a margin button. Okay. Did I save that? Oh. Okay, so let's see what we have. So yes, so flex is very funny when you do justify between, because there are 5 items, it's now giving this space here. Okay, but that notwithstanding, so we see what is happening here. So Priska John has this. She's on web development, front end. Chris is this Android development, Android, Webedimo, web development. So it's picking out things from this. Okay. So what else do I want to do? I wanted to do the image. So it's also possible for you to specify which image. So I think. So I need to. So I know Ogo is here. I know I need to replace this. That name. So I'm looking at my images. I want to use the same this thing here. So I'm going to do. I'm just going to give random names. Local. I'll give person. So you need to have this person's. You need based. I'm using based on my images here. That's what I want to use and display this. So remember that we have this here. So the same way that we did for this branch and everything. So I'm going to do this. And I'm replacing this name here with this. And then remember, see the name here. We have this as student image. So I'm not touching the extension. So you see, we still have this .png. I'm replacing this with student image. So if we come back here, you see what is happening. So these guys now, they don't have image. They don't have an image tied to them. That's why it's showing up empty like this. So if we just give them, let's just pity them and give them maybe let me just replace each of them. So you see now, we now have all of this. And this is showing up here. Yes, so the thing is, sadly, we have to stop here. Oh, is anybody confused so far?
Sir, I must confess, I'm totally confused.
Okay. Yes. So it's okay. Where did you get lost? What don't you really understand? Everything.
Yes, everything. Everything.
Okay. This is what is going to happen. Just if just go through this video, I'll probably have to do a makeup and then we'll talk about this. Okay.
All right, so I'll do right.
Yeah. Please, for everyone, let's just go over this. I'll
Please,
explain.
I'm
I'll
raising my
explain
hand.
more. Yes. Okay. Yeah. What's your question?
Before you
Taufik.
actually round up, I wouldn't know if you can help just do a recap within the next 5 minutes from start. I think that could still help.
Okay. Okay. Let me just try that. Sorry. Okay. So let me just explain what is happening here again. So we have an array of students. Let's say you were given this, even whether from your back end or something. Now you want to display it on a page. So we created out this base container, how we want the page to look like. So each of them, they are here. We have a student section, student card, student image, student info, and all of that. Now, this is how we want it to look. So I structured it out like this. Now, on our app.js, we had to select this student section, because we want to change the inner HTML. We want to change what it's looking like. So variable now, HTML, and it's an empty string. Now we are saying for each student, we want to display a card for that student. So that's why on the page, each of them have their own card. So we are saying for each student, display a card. Now I had to copy since I had designed this, how I want it to look, I copied a single student's card and I put it inside template string here. Now, remember that we had HTML here. This HTML is an empty string. So we are now replacing this empty string. Yeah, Chideogon.
Okay, please, why do you have to like replicate it into three? That is in the HTML. If the
You,
app.js will have to actually like display
okay.
all of the listed students in that area. You understand?
Yeah,
So why do you have to like?
yes.
Why not just put one in the HTML file?
So yes, that works. So I just didn't want us to get confused. So you just need only one, basically. And then since your app.js is going to replicate it for you, it does the whole work. So if we come back here, we see that it's not affected. It's still fixed. So you understand that now? Okay. So coming back here now, since we are looping through this, and this inside this for each, one item is picked at each iteration, at each turning point or something. Now inside here, now we replace this HTML with a card, a single card. So this means for each element, or for each student, now display a card for that student. Now inside here, now after doing all of this, I now have to change the inner HTML. That's instead of what is here, instead of this student's card, replace it with what is inside this HTML. That's why I'm assigning HTML to the inner HTML of this student section. So when that when that happens now, we now had, remember that we now had 5 of them. So we now had 5 items from this place, since we have 5 inside here. So with that now, I am now replacing each item inside here. So we are saying for each element, so if we come to the first one, this is an element. So for the first time, for this element, for Priska's own, replace here with Priska's image. So this is Priska's image. She has this name. This name is the same as this name here. I just gave it that name. So I left the extension here since it is in PNG format. If it's JPG, this would have also changed. So pick Priska's image and replace it with, instead of what is there, replace it with Priska's image. Now, replace Priska's name with the name that is here. So we have this. Then also replace her branch and her track. So that's why we now have, if we check, this is Christine's own. Christine has a different thing. Yes, you have to make it responsive. Okay, I succeeded in confusing everybody. So let's just have a makeup for now. We'll have a makeup to talk about this very well, but just go through this. So when that happens, I just reassign what is inside this HTML. Yes. I assign what is inside HTML to the inner HTML of the student section. That's why the initial design that we had has been replaced with what we now have coming from our app dots. So yes, if the extension is different, if you have JPG, sorry, that means this has to be JPG. That's why it's outside JPG. But since what we have here is PNG, so that's why I'm using PNG. I hope we get that. So please, let's just go through this and try it on your own. I will call for another session where we'll talk about this. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I want to ask about this PNG and JPG. Does it mean we assume that students will be uploading different pictures? I mean, pictures with different extensions. If a student upload a JPG, I mean, an image with JPG extension, is it going to change automatically?
No. So that's the thing. All of them now, this now means that all of them have to be of the same extension. So if it's different, it won't work. The only way that will work is if we also have to, maybe we now have to create another thing for the extension here. Or alternatively, we can do this. We can do person dots. If it's SVG, we put the SVG. And then that means we now have to remove this one. So if it's speaking now, it's speaking the whole of this as a string together with the extension. So when it displays here, best you see, okay.
I think this is much better now.
Yes. So
this is much better.
Yeah. So this now allows
you with the extension.
Yes. It allows
whatever the extension is. Yes.
Yes. You now pick it up. It's actually not difficult. You try it on your own. You will probably not get lost. So please, we'll have to end here now. I will attend to questions afterwards. I need to do something now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.